Are you participating in NaNoWriMo? Then watch this video for some tips to keep that consistent writing habit going throughout NaNoWriMo to help you win. If you don't know me, I'm Iris Marsh and I help indie authors with their manuscripts so that they can publish with confidence. So let's see. In this video I will give you some of my best tips for writing consistently to help you throughout the challenge and also to help you meet your NaNoWriMo goals, but also to keep it fun and light and realistic. And you can also use these tips after NaNoWriMo is gone to help you keep a consistent writing habit even when you're not doing a challenge. So let's have a look. In total it's 7 tips. So 1. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. So writing every day or most days is more important during this challenge than actually hitting your word count goal. So if the goal of writing 1,667 words each day is stressing you out, then don't focus on that. But while it's often advised to have a daily word count goal, you don't have to have a daily goal. You can also make it a weekly goal or just a goal for the entire month to help you with consistency. But the daily goal isn't a prerequisite. You can do what fits with you, because maybe some days you write 1,000 words, some days you write 5,000 words, and some days you write 100 words. That's fine. So maybe instead you just have a certain amount of time that you block out each day, for instance an hour or half an hour, whatever it is, and then you can just track the amount of hours that you write instead of your word count. And that way, you still have that consistent writing habit throughout the challenge, only it's not so focused on word count per se. So just do what works for you to keep the challenge fun. Tip number 2, write where and when you can. Because it can be tough sometimes to find the time to write, but you likely have more time than you think. Because you don't always have to write while you're sitting behind your desk. While that is the ideal environment, you can also write during other times. For instance, if you have a commute in the morning towards work, you can whip out your phone or your laptop or what else you use to type on and type on some words in there. Or you can use the dictation function on your phone in case you're driving. So you can just push on that and talk into the phone as you drive. And I know that, for instance, sometimes I also don't feel like writing at the end of the day after work, and it usually helps me to kind of relax on the couch, and then I just get out my phone and I type on there. It's not as ideal as typing on my laptop, but it just gives me a different vibe. Like, it's less mandatory that I sit down and write, and it's more relaxed. So then the creative juices also flow a bit more. So just figure out a way to get your writing in. Doesn't matter how, as long as you do it. And tip number 3, participate in writing sprints. So the writing sprints are a very common thing during NaNoWriMo, and they can be very motivating when you do them with other people and help you write a bit more during the time span. So just try them out 1 or 2 times to see if they're right for you. If you find it to be too competitive, then you can also just do it for yourself. Just set a timer for 15 minutes and try to let the words flow as much as possible. And write as much as you can during those 15 minutes. Then tip number 4, reach out to other writers. You're not alone in this, so take advantage of NaNoWriMo's community and connect with other writers. You're in this challenge together, so it's a great way to encourage and motivate each other. because sometimes there will be even live writing sessions hosted in a place near you. So that can also be a fun way to meet other writers in real life and have a connection with them. And tip number 5, it's okay to modify your goals. We've already talked about this a little bit in tip number 1, and I've mentioned this in another video as well, but it's completely fine if you don't stick to the 50k word count goal. That's the standard for NaNoWriMo. You're free to adjust your goal in any way that helps you, in any way that it fits in your life right now. So if 50k simply isn't possible for you, then you can lower that goal to half or even less. Or you can, instead of using the word count, you can use different type of metric, like the minimum amount of hours you want to spend on your writing project during November and track that. Or if you're editing your novel, you can also track the number of scenes that you're working on. It doesn't really matter. Some NaNoWriMo purists will tell you it isn't okay, but it really is fine. The goal of NaNoWriMo is ultimately to make progress in your writing project and to kind of develop that consistent writing habit. It's not there to stress you out or give you more pressure in life. No one wants that. We don't want you to burn out, after all. So keep it manageable and do what works for you. And number 6, related to that, remain flexible. Like modifying your goals from the beginning, it's also possible to alter your goals as you're going through the challenge. So it's fine also if you don't stick to the outline that you've prepared in Preptober. Because if your creativity calls you to write something else, then you don't have to rigidly stick to the outline that you came up with. It's okay to follow your creative direction. You want it to be creative and fun, and an outline should never be rigid to begin with. So, remain flexible on all the different aspects of this process so that it remains fun. And finally, tip number 7, be kind to yourself. Like I said, NaNoWriMo is about making progress. It's not about being perfect, especially if you're participating in NaNoWriMo with the goal of writing your first draft. It's not going to be perfect because first drafts are messy, especially if you're still a beginning writer. You definitely can't expect your first draft to be the final one. That never happens, and that's also a good thing because in my experience you actually learn a lot while you're editing your manuscripts as well. Like you get a lot of writing skills that you learn throughout the editing process. You get a closer look at your structure or how you write sentences for more emotional impact, how you can write more evocative settings and all of that great stuff. So the first draft is just the beginning, and that's, I think, important to keep in mind. So don't put too much pressure on yourself and just go with the flow and have fun with it. I keep saying that, but it's true. Writing should be fun. While that won't always be the case, all of the days in general, it should be fun. So I hope that with these tips, you'll be able to win NaNoWriMo by creating a consistent writing habit. So, in my opinion, like I said, it's not really about hitting that 50k goal. It's about making progress and sticking to the longer commitment of finishing your book so you can publish it. It's about sticking to that consistent writing habit. And if you can do that, then in my opinion, you've won NaNoWriMo. In the description, I'll also put some links to some of my word count trackers in case you do like to track your word count. And some of them are also adaptable. And when you finish with NaNoWriMo, sign up for my free self-editing mini course to learn the basics of all the different editing stages, and get some tips on how to do this editing yourself. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to stay updated for more content. And if you have any questions whatsoever about writing or editing or I don't know what else, feel free to reach out, and I'll see you next time.